think Pokemon's overvalued. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Pokemon's overvalued. I think sports cards are undervalued. I'm going to talk about why. We know Logan Paul just sold his card for $16 million. That's the highest selling trading card of all time. The interesting thing about that is how much more rare sports cards are than Pokemon. Like, for example, this special illustration rare Charizard, PSA 10, it's going for $4.95. It's not bad. But what I want to focus on is the population. Because after all, that's what all of this is about. The rarity of the card. That is what makes these things collectible and valuable, is because they're supposed to be rare. Now, there are 10,000 PSA 10 special illustration rares. Let's compare that to something in sports. We'll say, I'm going to use Wemby, the most graded sports card of all time. His 2023 Prism base. There are 26,000 of these. This is the most graded, the most graded card of all time. The thing with Pokemon, I could just keep on going down the list. I could just, let's go Pikachu. Won't even click. We'll just look at these. Look, pop 24,000. This is some random Pokemon card from 2023, 24,000. PSA 9 on this one, 19,000. 2021 Surfing Pikachu, 6,000 on PSA 10. See, the thing that people always say about Pokemon is, well, the Pokemon, he can't get in a car wreck, or he can't, go to jail, stuff like that, which is true. But what's also true about Pikachu is he's not a real thing. He's not a real person. He didn't really do anything. He didn't really contribute to society. I mean, he kind of did, but it's the person. So it's not really anything special about him in that sense either. And on top of that, look at this. PSA 9 Van Gogh, 47,000 of these. And they're $600. Look at this. PSA 10, 40,000. PSA 10 Van Gogh, 46,000. All of the cards in Pokemon are like that. There are so many of them. They are not rare at all. Let's see what we got. This is brand new. So this is going to be one of the most graded cards right here. It's already 20,000 of them. This card just came out. It's Japanese, but still 6,000 Celebration, 31,000, 22,000, 49,000. Like, they aren't rare at all. And then if I do something like, let's do Drake May, 2,000. Now, I'm not saying to buy Drake May, but I'm just saying this to make a point that these cards are a lot more rare. Now, of course, Drake May is very young. He might not even turn out to be anybody, but there aren't as many cards. Let's do somebody. Now, let's go somewhere that's more, collectible and it's probably going to hold their value. Let's do Michael Jordan. His 1990 Fleer base. There's only one from this year, and it's a PSA 9, 31,000. So it's still a lot of cards, but this is the junk. I mean, this is the junk wax era, and this is from 1990. This card has been sitting for over 30 years, able to be graded. There's way less of these, and this is the junk wax era. Let's do something like, let's say when, the junk wax kind of calmed down. Let's do like 1996. Let's look at this. PSA 10, his base card from 1996. There's only 1,900 copies, bro. There's only 1,900, and it's just a base card. And it's rocketing. Look at these numbers. 1,800, 900, 800, 600, 3,000, 300, 1,200. Now, granted, there are a lot more people in Pokemon for sure, but that doesn't mean that they have to have millions and millions of cards graded and printed. There's no rarity, really. They're too easy to get to. And I really think that we're going to see a shortage in cards, in sports cards particularly, if the market keeps staying hot like this. People like Jordan, you're not good. I would say Ken Griffey, that era of stuff, I think it's going to be hard to come by. Look at these numbers. This is 1996. This is when he was at his peak, really, man. And look at the prices. The prices aren't even that high. The prices don't reflect how rare it is. $200. Now let's go back to Charizard. Look at these prices and look at the population on these. This thing is a PSA 10, it's 26,000 of them, and it's going for $1,000, man. That's way overvalued, way overpriced. So if we're trying to actually invest and make as much money as quickly as possible, because that's ultimately the name of the game, is making as much money as quick as possible, where are we going to go? Are we going to go to Pokemon, which is at its peak right now? Like, I wouldn't say it's at its peak, but I mean, this is this time period right now. I think this is a peak right here. Could keep going up, but I think it actually stabilizes and goes down a little bit. But if we're trying to ride a wave from the bottom, I think we need to find things that are cheaper and rarer and slept on. And I think that is sports card market, particularly players, GOATs, Jordan, Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Ken Griffey Jr., people like that have a legacy. It's pretty much in stone. It will be pretty hard for them to ruin it at this stage. I think that's the play. I think buying Pokemon right now, if it's not something that's extremely rare, like if I type in Charizard and I go 2006, let's see, we get some rare Charizard cards, but a PSA 10 in this, let's see if we can find one. What is this? Crystal Guardians, PSA 10, 8,000 in 2005. It's kind of achievable. I just feel like there's so many Pokemon cards. There's so many other that you could buy. If I was going to do Pokemon cards, I probably would do from this era because these numbers are pretty cool. But anything like now, we'll say 2020, these numbers, man, like, come on, 22,000, 48,000. I would start looking in. If I'm doing Pokemon, I'm doing maybe not super early Pokemon, like base set. That stuff you really can't get it anyway. But I think if you got that stuff, you should probably be selling it right now. Like, that's what I would do. I mean, I wish I was in shit. I wish I had some Pokemon, a base set Pokemon. But that's not the opportunity right now. I think we need to be focusing on what the opportunity is. I think the opportunity is in sports cards. That's basically what I want to say in this video. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. I do videos pretty much every day and talk about sports cards and cards in general. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.